I am getting the on-air sign, which means we are live. What is happening? We had a little bit of a delay there getting started. Sometimes when you hit that go live button, there's like, it can be 10 seconds, it can be a minute. And so sitting here kind of waiting for that. Man, thank you. 10-year anniversary run, sold out. Sold out today a little while ago. 150 guitars. That's amazing. And when you consider, too, these 150 guitars, they're all Aries models, bolt-on, and they're all basically solid color guitars. So that's amazing to announce a run a week ago today, open it on Saturday at noon, and we almost sold out within the first, it was like 16 hours or so, got the majority of the sales. So it just about sold out in the first day, and then it took a little while to get the last few stragglers. So thank you for all of you guys for getting in on that. 150, it's amazing. Part of the 150 are these guys here. This one's actually up for grabs, $25.79. So if somebody didn't get in on the run, they wanted a stage 3, $25.79, you can grab this exact guitar, and I'm shipping it for free. And yes, even internationally, shipping it for free. One thing we noticed on the run was we did not sell as many guitars internationally as we normally do. And I think there's a lot of people kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with tariffs and things like that. So here's, and hopefully it goes to someone international, because you know what the tariffs are right now. If they don't even exist, we can ship this thing out tomorrow. US or international, doesn't matter. Free shipping, $25.79 gets that exact guitar. But thank all of you so much for getting in on the run. I got to put I spec'd a guitar out, so I did take one of the spots. Brandon spec'd one out, and so did Cal. But it's really neat to see the response. And originally I was like, oh, we've been in business 79 years. It's our 10th anniversary. Maybe we'll just do 79. And then I was kind of going back and forth. Oh, no, we'll do 100. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to open it up. We'll do 150 max. I'm capping it at that. And I'm glad I did, because I got to see so many really cool builds go through. All of these have the new neck heel. I'll turn this around. So if you guys have missed what we've been up to, we have a new neck heel. We have new fretwork that we're doing. We've added like the rear access jack to a lot of models, and just done a lot of player improvements, right? Not necessarily aesthetic, like if you don't like the way our guitars look aesthetically, that's totally fine. And everybody's got their own opinion. And, but player-wise, like we've added some really, really great features to a lot of our models. So it was cool to see the response, putting this run together and us being able to thank you guys for all your support. And a lot of you, most of you did not get even if you got a stage 1, most of you got upgrades and options and things like that on them. A few people got the $13.99 guitar, which is awesome. Just getting you into, maybe your first Kiesel, first American-made custom guitar. Well, American-made custom guitar for $13.99 is just unheard of. It's crazy. It really is. And I think you guys understand when we say we're not going to make any money on those. I don't know that we're going to lose money. If we do, maybe it's like a wash. I look at it like a lost leader. The idea is to put that out there for you guys that maybe are first-time buyers or just supporters of the brand, and you get into that first guitar and you go, wow, this is amazing. And we've seen so many people start off that way, where they get the stage 1 on a run, and then before you know it, 2 years later, they're 5 guitars deep into the company, and some of them are, $3,000-$4,000 builds. So it's kind of like our, extending our hand out saying, come on over, check these out. So that's why we do it. Truly, it's one of the things we don't want to get the calculator out to see where we're going to land on those. We're doing it just, just to get you into the brand, because we're not skipping any steps or cutting any corners. The only difference is at that $13.99 price point, they were with nickel frets instead of stainless. And you could upgrade to stainless for a fee. So anyway, thank you guys for that. We will be creating a owners group shortly, and we will have updates within the run, just like any run we've ever done. If you're new to our lives or new to Kiesel and you're wondering what the hell is a run, it's a limited set of options, and we had 3 price points, one starting at $13.99, the next one at $18.99, and the next one at $23.99, I think it was. And the idea was we wanted to give you different packages that were value priced to give you so much for your money because we're more efficient. And, it was awesome. And the guys in the back are so excited, to see some of these rolling through. These are all going to get signed and numbered. Historically, we've only done 1 run a year. We have not yet done multiple runs within 1 calendar year. So are we going to do another run this year? We've never done it. So in 10 years of doing a run once a year, we've never done 2 in a year. So this may be it until next year. So let's see what the the future holds. But don't hold your breath for another run anytime soon. Having said that, we'll do a Q&A, open it up for some questions. This is your time to ask me whatever you want to know. It does not have to be guitar related. It can be whatever you want. So let's go. What do you guys want to know?
All right, here's a good one to open up with. They're asking, will the new fretwork include polishing?
Absolutely. Yeah, so that is one of the steps that we have added. And obviously, as we add these things, with the rounding of the fretboard edges. So we're not talking about the crowning here. We're talking about the edge of the fretboard when we radius in. So you're not losing any string bending, right? The one thing I didn't want to do is start getting a big radius on the side. Some companies will do that. And as you're playing, you can bend and pull off of the fretboard. That's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about the edge. We're talking about the fret end in this area here, not the actual edge of the fret. So it's rolling the ends over. So now when you look at the fret, instead of it being more flat, it's more of a radius on the beveled part of the fret. So we're not talking about changing the beveling itself. I'd love to bevel shit, but we're not talking about that. So what that has done is it has added a lot of time in my custom shop, right? To more attention to detail. And it is a finer detail that you're going to find at a minimum of a $3,000 and up guitar. You're not going to find it anywhere on a $1,400 guitar. And I'm talking, of course, USA made. So, you're looking at $3,000 for a solid color guitar and up to get fretwork that we are doing standard, even at the $1,600 price point. So it's really amazing. So we've added that. That's a big, big one. Of course, the neck heel, and then the secondary jack, which for you, that might not be a big deal. It's pretty cool when you sit down to plug in and you're on the couch and you want to record something or send it to amps. Or the secondary jack is a pretty cool thing to have.
Next question is from John. He's asking, any sparkle batches in the works?
There's always sparkle batches in the works. I just saw, I want to say it was 10 that just got painted, because we hold till we have at least 10 before we paint them. So 10 to 20 is what we paint at a time. And I saw at least 10 the other day. One of them was a moss green Vanquish. It was pretty cool to see that. One of our, not Vanquish, Thanos, sorry.
Anthony is asking, what's the difference between Trans Orange and Solana?
Oh, a lot. So Solana is going to be a finish that's going to have hues of red, yellow, and orange. And then a Trans Orange is a translucent orange paint, where the Solana is a stain-based. And then you're going to have a like almost like a black color. It's more like a honey brown bursted in with that orange burst. So they are two wildly different colors. My best way of describing it is when you have a stain A stain changes the color of the grain and accentuates it, where a translucent color, the orange burst, will tint the exterior of the grain. So where the stain is changing the interior and sometimes popping the figuring out even more, enhancing it. I like to stain. I like to use stain finishes in any place I can. Sometimes, a translucent's going to be a lot better. Like obviously like on a metal flake or something like that. But on, flame tops, swamp ash tops, things like that, or swamp ash bodies, the Solana is a really cool finish. My daughter does all of those. If that's any consolation to you, if you think that's cool, you want something done by Kayla, she does all the Solana finishes.
We got Nick Kemp in here. He's asking, I'm currently trying to spec out a future build based on my bird. How does a Cali Burst look on Lizard Burst? Do you still get some of the yellow in the finish? And also, what top looks the most like feathers?
What's up, buddy? How you doing, Nick? Okay, so a bird. If I was trying to do a bird, I don't know what kind of bird you have. I'm going to assume some type of like maybe a lovebird, because I believe those are yellow and green with red beaks or orange beaks. So if that's the case, maybe we can even paint like a knob orange for you or something to kind of simulate the beak. That could be really cool. Or maybe do orange pickups. As far as a pattern, I don't know what your budget is, Nick. I would say something like a crotch flame top where you're getting almost like a fanning of feathers going out could look really cool. But I think flame maple would be neat because it's going to look most like a feather. We can even pick a slightly wider pocket on there to simulate like what a feather would look like. I think something like that could be really cool. And then I think your second part to the question is, will you see enough yellow? We could do what's called a wide Cali burst. So if you wanted, instead of doing our normal thin Cali burst, we could pull out that yellow and make the yellow a little more prominent if that's what you wanted.
What humidity percentage would you recommend to help prevent fret sprout on my Kiesels?
50% is ideal. Anywhere down to about, 25 is still fine. You start getting much drier than that. And it's not going to hurt the instrument, but yes, the fretboards on any type of wood can move around a little bit. They can shrink in when it gets more dry outside. You start getting into the 10 to 15%. That's when you start to have a little bit of shrinkage. Cold water also.
Next question is from Cameron.
Sorry, I'm just on one today.
He says, hey, Jeff, do you think a black to natural to orange 3-color fade would look good? Thinking of some type of black to orange fade.
So if you're asking black to natural back to orange, I don't know how I feel about that. I think an orange to black would look better. Or you could go natural to orange to black. I think trying to go black to natural to orange, it's not that it can't be done. It's going to be hard to feather in, I guess, that transition in a shorter period of distance, right? That's always the challenge. The smaller the body, the harder it is to cram more colors or more transition in. So the bigger the space, and that's why sometimes you'll see me when I do a guitar, if I have a headstock at the top, if it's a headstock instrument, I actually I'll pick one color and do the headstock in one color because it's going to look better than trying to fade in that much of a span. I don't want any hard lines. If I do my job right, if I'm doing the fades, you shouldn't really be able to be like, oh, wow, look at that. It should go, wow. You should look at that transition all the way up. So I've done orange to black and it looks awesome. I think that's a really cool look. So we could go natural to orange to black if you wanted, or we could go just the orange to black. I think would be really cool too.
Joe Brooks is asking, how's the concrete going?
What's up, Joe Brooks? The concrete is going okay. It's actually coming out really good. It's just when you're pouring concrete, I don't know what the buckets weigh. I mean, the bag of non-mixed cement is 50 pounds. And so I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 65 pounds with water in it, 65 pounds. So they're not fun when you're pouring in one day, 30 of them. It's not the most fun, especially if you're mixing them and pouring them. The most I've done myself mix and pour is 16 in one area, 22 that day. But so I guess in like a 3-hour period, I did 22. But when you have help, you have people helping you, like Kayla and Zach have been great. Sean has been great. And I think we're going to do another pour this weekend. We're doing flooring in our house, and part of our home does not have tile. And part of the majority of our home has this like European real stone. It's expensive and pretty, but we don't like it. My wife has never liked it, and it hurts her feet. So it's time to, do a facelift. And it was more expensive to remove that stone rather than filling in the carpeted areas a half inch. A half inch doesn't sound like a lot, but, in an area of like, 500 square foot area and you're trying to fill it in, it's like, wow, it's a lot of concrete. And each bag only does a half inch lift, does 13 square feet. So you're like, oh shit, So we've got to fill Zach's room in this weekend. So we'll be pouring that. And contractors, they want to pour, and I don't blame them. It sucks to do. They want $100 per bag. So at Zach's room's going to take about 30 bags. That's $3,000 just in labor. So we'll do that. And took us, if we have an assembly line set up, it takes 45 minutes. So very efficient in the Kiesel household. Everybody's pitching in and helping.
Emil is asking, what did the guys at Lumenlay say about the price of rings?
Oh yeah, we ordered those. I ordered Lumenlay rings, so I guess we could add those to the builder. I got them. They are, I don't know when I'm going to have them. I would say in the next 3-4 weeks, but I'm going to do them. And we're just going to charge the normal Lumenlay upgrade, which I want to say is $75. So if we charge for rings, you'd pay the ring price plus the $75. Yeah, they were very reasonable on it, which was cool.
This is just a comment, but it's funny. I said, I like to bevel shit is one hell of a Jeff quote.
Well, I mean, the thing about beveling is you get this, obviously this 3-dimensional look, but when you pick up the instrument and you hold it, why I like it so much is all of us hold the guitar differently, right? And you get that same comfort. And it has weight reduction. So I think it looks cool. You get weight reduction, and it's more comfortable in any playing. It's more versatile in playing positions. How about that? So, yeah.
Next question is, can I get a Zeus acoustic without the sound hole?
I don't see why not. That would be something you'd have to call in to order. You'd have to prepay it, and it would be no returns. There would be no 10-day trial period on it at all.
Is there an option for lefty trims?
Well, we do the Kiesel trim left-handed. We have a left-handed Floyd Rose. We don't do the multi-scales left-handed, multi-scale trims. We don't do those left-handed. So yeah, I mean, we do left-handed, a lot of left-handed guitars. Well, we don't do a lot of left-handed guitars. We have a lot of left-handed options. That's probably better said.
Can you do any burst finishes with stains?
I can. Yep.
What are the specs and the price on the Deal of the Live?
The price is $25.79. You have a 3-piece walnut neck with a thinner neck profile. You have the KRG with the black crackle, rich light fingerboard, stainless jumbo frets, reverse pointed angled headstock, black hardware, thorium pickup, Empyrean pickup. Volume move down to the tone position, tone delete, black and KRG logo. I think I maybe said KRG rings, but we have KRG rings on there. 14-inch fretboard radius, 25.5-inch scale, and a whole lot of awesome. It'll make you a better player. That's what Savannah said. And honestly, I mean, here I'm saying that. I don't know what guitar you're playing on, but I feel like our guitars really do help people play more efficiently, and they are very comfortable. And you could have a very comfortable guitar out there too. There's a lot of great guitar builders out there. And then there's guitars that are not so comfortable to play on, or they're frustrating to play on. And I can tell you this, our guitars are super comfortable to play on. So it can make you a better player depending on what you're playing on.
Plus, just having a finish on your guitar with the name racing in it, you're bound to play faster, right?
That's right. That's right. Kiesel Racing Green, baby. Got that slow KRG color on it, you know? Well, I haven't won a race this year yet. Well, I've won my class. Well, no, I won my class the first event. Didn't win the second event, but I haven't set top packs at either event. I was undefeated in that lot, and now I've lost two out of two. Granted, I've been on really shitty tires both times, but really worn out tires one time, and the other time I was on an off-brand tire. So we're probably going to put new tires on for the next event, and hopefully do good. Live up to that Kiesel Racing Green heritage.
How would a blue denim with a Nightburst wide caliburst look on burled maple?
So if we did a blue denim and then we did what sounds like you want is a purple caliburst on it, I don't know that you'd want to put aqua over blue denim. I don't think that you're going to lose the blue. So maybe you just want like a purple burst. I think that could look really cool. You're going to get like kind of like a monster, like a reverse monster burst-esque type of finish.
Any plans for a new radical body style like the Jackson Warrior or similar?
No plans. I've heard people asking for that. People have asked for like an offset guitar. We've had some requests for 30-inch scale guitars. We've had a couple people ask for multi-scale Evertunes. We've had some requests, but there hasn't been anything that's been like, oh, wow, there's a lot of people asking for this. Like when we didn't do multi-scale, there was a lot of people. When we didn't have a multi-scale trim, there was a lot of people. Those were like huge requests. And I feel like, if we did some really cool radical shaped guitar, we're going to be able to count on like selling 20 or 30 a year. When you sell 4,000 guitars a year to sell 20 or 30, it's like you put all that effort in and offer, 6, 7, and 8 string, standard and multi-scale, all these bridge types. It's really getting us out of the efficiency range, so it's hard to do that. So I feel like if we did do a really cool, custom, aggressive shape like that, we have to charge more for those types of shapes because we do them so few times. And I know that sounds counterintuitive. You're like, well, if you charge more, you're going to sell less. Well, even if I charge less, I'm only going to sell 1 or 2 more. So I have to charge a chunk more because we have sub-templating, we got to pay for tooling and other costs and things like that. So I don't know. I don't know if we will see a more aggressive shape. You never know what the future holds, but nothing in the works at the moment.
Got a question from Chris, and he is asking, is chocolate quilted maple just a darker maple, or is chocolate referencing figuring in the wood?
It's a little bit of both. So the tree itself has definitely some like veins and areas of this dark, almost chocolate-like color. And then the wood is a little darker too. And it can still have some very like light highlights in the wood. I just coined it chocolate maple. I didn't know what else to call it. Some companies would call it stained maple. Stained just doesn't sound very attractive. Like, oh, check out this stained maple. It sounds like something's wrong with it, so came up with this idea of calling it chocolate maple. I think it looks really cool. And when you pair it with the right options, it can absolutely look like, like $1,000,000. It really looks cool. I like those more with like warmer tones, like honeyburst or like a trans blackburst or no color on it. They just look really neat. Pairing them with, other like woods like bird's eye maple. Maybe it's a roasted bird's eye maple, for a fingerboard. And cream pickups look really cool on stuff like that, or metal covered pickups like gold or black. So they can look really cool. Scott Carstairs, we did one for him, and his looks awesome. I love the way that guitar looks.
Yeah, his was one of my favorite chocolate maple tops I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I put a mahogany body on there, and that's what made him fall in love with mahogany. He was like, oh shit, what is this? And I'm like, yeah, man, mahogany is like, it's a really special wood. And then from that point forward, he's really loved mahogany.
Got a question from John. He is asking, what is the difference between a candy finish and a metallic? I'm assuming he's meaning like
Yeah.
candy apple red.
So candy apple red, or that's probably our only candy that's called that. That is a metallic. So there's different levels of metallic. So there's the fine metallic, then there's the heavy metal flake that some people will still call a metallic. And then there's what we call candy finishes, like the ones that I do myself. The candy finishes have no reference to like a candy apple red metallic. Just like they're two totally different things. Like one's a solid color that has, the fine metallic in it. And why I coined the phrase candy finishes is I wanted them to look like the circular hard candies you would get at those stuffy, nice restaurants, right? You go into one of those as a kid and you come out and you have this like little candy. You're all excited because the food's like not that good and you have to be quiet and be on your best behavior. It kind of sucks the whole experience, right? But at the end, you get this like hard candy. And when you look at them, they have this like transparency to them and they just look so amazing if you hold it up to like the light. And that was what the idea with the candy finishes are, is to grab that look and put it on a guitar.
All right, we got a few more minutes. You want to knock out 10 more questions?
Sure. Kayla's taking me home anyhow. I'm carless right now. Sean dropped me off because I was running so far behind schedule today. Just this interior house project has been a shit show.
Here's a good one. Who is your favorite Star Wars character?
That's a really hard one. So when you're such a fan of the franchise, it's hard to pick just one. Obviously, like the super iconic, like the movie would never be the same without Darth Vader, right? I mean, I love Darth Vader. But when Chewbacca got shot, I just about cried. Like my wife has seen me cry like 5 times in my life, and I just about cried when he got shot. I was like, oh my God, he's gonna die. So, I mean, there's something like I got a soft spot for Chewie, and Boba Fett, and Vader. I would say those are like my top 3 for sure. I hate C-3PO more than Jar Jar Binks. So I just do not like 3PO. He's so fucking irritating. It just like irritates the shit out of me. I feel like there's a couple like in Strikes Back, he's like, R2 has been known to make mistakes from time to time. Like that was like the only funny line he's ever fucking had, where he's like, the odds of surviving in the snowstorm are like 10,000 to 1 or something. Like, I don't remember what the exact numbers are. I know I should probably know this, but, and then he had like that one line where I actually laughed and I was like, okay. But other than that, he just irritates the shit out of me. I don't know what it is about him.
I don't know why I had a feeling he was going to get brought up in your favorite character question because you dislike him so much.
I really do, man. It's like if the movie didn't have him, I can't think of a single thing aside from him suggesting they take R2 out, in A New Hope when what is it, Red 3 or whatever blows has a bad motivator. and he suggests to take R2. That was like the only thing he probably did that was like important. I mean, what else did he do that was important? Can you think of anything important that he did, Brandon?
Complained a lot.
No. Important. Not what he was known for. Yeah, but he suggested they take R2. And right, that if he wasn't there and they didn't take R2, they would have changed the movie. But aside from that, I don't know. But yes, so Vader, Boba Fett, and Chewbacca. Yeah, those are my favorites. Han Solo is awesome. I love Han, but when he, when it was over for him, I was like, oh, he had a good run. I was fine. Luke, when he was gone, I was fine. But man, Chewie, I thought I was gonna have to get up and leave the theater. And I got, Chewie on my arm real big right there. So
luckily he pulled through.
Dude.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, serious, yeah. Hey, if you haven't seen that shit by now, like, I don't feel bad by spoiling it. That was, what, like 5 years ago?
It was almost 10 years ago now. That
No
one
way.
where he gets shot? Yeah. I remember because...
Are you serious?
Me and Diana went and saw it a few months after we started dating, and this year is 10 years for us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, well, hey, if you haven't seen it after 10 years, should I spoil Severance for you guys? If you guys aren't watching Severance, Severance is a really good show. Season 1 is amazing. Season 2 starts off, in my opinion, really shitty and weird, but just stomach through it and pay attention. It's really important that you pay attention. Even though it's like weird the first couple episodes, it gets really good. So we're up to date on Severance, but I don't think we saw the latest one, but I think we were up to date last week.
Every Thursdays.
Yep, so
episodes.
we're up to date then. We just haven't seen this week's, obviously.
You didn't get the early sneak peek?
Well, I mean, technically you can if you stay up late.
Next question is, how do I buy the deal of the live?
You call 858 Guitars and tell them, I want the deal of the live. It's $25.79 shipped right to you. The only exception would be is if you live in California, we got to charge that sales tax. That would be the only thing we're going to charge you for is sales tax inside of California. Other than that, $25.79 gets it shipped right to you.
Any new models coming called the Fett or Chewy?
No, I think it'd be like, yeah, I don't know. They're not really great names for like a model, like I think a model needs like a very strong name or a very elegant name, like Kira, Leia, Vader, Solo, like those are like either elegant or strong. Where Fett is like, I don't know, it's like the Fett. Like, I mean, I'm a hardcore Star Wars nerd, but it's, in my mind, it's got to still kind of make sense. Maybe like the Falcon or something like that would be better than Fett.
Ryan says, I want to make a Darth Vader. How would you spec it out? It's a neck through.
So what I would do with the Darth Vader is the thing that I've seen that looks, I think, the coolest is a swamp ash body, swamp ash top, a walnut neck, and then you go raw tone finish on it. And then we can do a flame maple fingerboard and do red saber finish on the fingerboard. I think that looks the coolest. And just keep everything else black. Do like a black over silver logo, so like there's just a shadow of this, like the logo in silver. I think that would look the coolest. It's definitely a Vader looking Vader.
Jeffrey is asking, do you like the DC or an Aries bevel delete more?
It's hard because the DC is a neck through, and I love neck throughs. So, but our new neck heels are so awesome on the bolt-ons. Probably the DC for the body shape. I just don't really care for the DC with the bevels added. So, and you're talking about like a bevel delete Aries anyway. I like the Aries better with a bevel, and I like the DC better without the bevel. Although that pink Aries bevel delete is like haunting me. I saw a lot of people making comments about that guitar like, dude, I never thought I would want, you know, like a pink guitar, especially with gold hardware, but that thing is just so sick. I mean, look at this thing. Do we have one more question, maybe?
One more.
One more. This is why I don't answer the phones here. I just keep going.
All right, let's see.
You looking for a good one?
I'm looking for a good one.
He's saying the rest of you guys suck. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, all these terrible questions. Now, here we go. When you guys took over Carvin, do you feel that Carvin guitars were already a superior instrument to a lot of bigger name brands?
So we didn't take over Carvin. We are still Carvin Guitars, right? We just did a name change. So my dad has ran the custom shop since 1970. So it's the same owner, right? Me and my dad owned half of Carvin, and we split in half with my uncle and his two kids went on and did Carvin Audio. And so Carvin Guitars as a company was Carvin Corporation was no longer. It became Carvin Audio and Kiesel Guitars owning Carvin Guitars. So we didn't take it over. We just went back to our original name as a tribute to my grandfather and to let the world know and the customers know, hey, there's changes coming. And with the Kiesel logo came a lot of improvements on quality. Now, getting back to your question, we've always been an amazing value and price. We really have. And so back in the older Carvin days, you could buy a guitar at like $800. And that $800 guitar would rival a $1,600 to $2,400 guitar. Now, that $800 guitar didn't have American-made hip shot, bridge on it. It didn't have stainless steel frets, didn't have lumen lace side dots, didn't have carbon fiber rods in the neck, wasn't a quarter sawn neck, wasn't this quality of fretwork, didn't have CNC, side dots put in. It didn't have this high quality of finishes. It didn't have thermal treated necks. There's so many things. It didn't have locking tuners. There's all these things the guitars didn't have. So when people are like, I wish I could get a guitar for $799. Well, this isn't the same guitar. I mean, it's not even close to the same. And obviously, with inflation and things like that, you're going in the Wayback Machine, 20 years or whatever, things just cost more. Our costs are higher, right? So to answer your question, yes, the guitars were already rivaling guitars at double to triple. And we have stepped that up, and we're still rivaling guitars double to triple, and in some cases, even higher prices than that, right? So at any price point, really. And that's due to the fact that we've put more time and energy and effort and money into these guitars, right? Yeah, even the components like Oaks Grigsby 5-way switches. That's an expensive switch. Go look one up. Go try to buy one. That's an expensive switch, and Bourne's pots. Look those up. They're expensive pots. We're doing that all standard in our guitars. It doesn't matter if it's our, base model or all the way loaded up. It's the same. And I think that's the last question, right?
That's the last one.
Guys, it's been 10 years. It's been amazing. Thank you guys so much for your support. Obviously, we're in year 79 of the overall of the company, but within the brand change, it's 10 years. I can't thank you guys enough for everything you guys have done. We're going to start doing more of those live shop walks and things like that. I know you guys have been missing them. It's been really hard for me to get in there and do that when I'm doing all these changes and updates. Now that we're through all that, I should be able to get in there and start doing some shop walks. So let us know what you want to see, and make sure your notifications are turned on. We'll see you guys.